Hello and welcome to our Rubank Elementary book series for the tuba. Today we are in lesson 8 talking about 3/4 time. If you're new to this series, it is for new tuba players, younger tuba players, or anybody who wants to just work on their fundamentals. Check the description down below for more information on this program. Basically, I am sharing my over 10 years of experience on tuba and trying to help younger players and teach what I learned, what I wish I had learned when I was at their level. So today we're on page 10, lesson number 8. We're talking about 3/4 time. If you watched last week's video, I spent a good chunk of the time talking about how important the tuba is. And when we switch into these different time signatures, this is where that really shows. The tuba in general, but the musicians behind them are so good at giving the feel of a certain time signature, because there is a clear difference between a 4/4 measure, which would be like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a different meter 3/4 measure, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And a lot of times you'll find the tuba players are told to put a little bit more emphasis on the first beat of that 3/4 measure. When we get later on in this and we advance to a 6/8 time, that becomes even more important. But for now, having that emphasis on the 1 of the 3/4 really helps you give that feel, oh, this is in 3/4 time. If we're listening to a piece of music, we can kind of get the feel behind what meter it's in just off of is it this kind of tick, 1 and 2 and, or is it 1 and 2 and that's essentially a big role that the tuba has in this. So while we're playing this, while we're working on this 3/4 time, really put an emphasis on the first beat of every measure. Number 2, you wouldn't just do da, 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 da. You do a little bit more like da, 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 da. And there's a subtle way of doing this that is really important, because you don't want to accent the note. Accents are a completely different thing that we will be getting through later on in the future. But for now, it's just a slight little nudge on every little downbeat. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same. We're doing all the regular stuff, like using the right amount of air, keeping our tone nice and open. But let's go back to a conversation we had several weeks ago about buzzing. This is a really good page to buzz along with me. As I'm playing, pull out your mouthpiece and buzz the line along with me, especially when we get to line 5, line 6. We're jumping all the way around, and we really want to make sure what we're doing is centering the notes at the very beginning of our sound. We don't want that scooping. We don't want that bad, nasty, uncentered sound that makes us inconsistent as tuba players. And the best way to fix that is through buzzing. We're going to jump right into this, lesson 8, page 10 at 92 beats per minute. In that last one, in the space between quarter notes, we try to keep it light and a little bit of space in between. For number 5 and 6, we're gonna try to keep the quarter notes as connected as possible, okay? That will help with several things, but most of all, we're working on just keeping a nice sound from the beginning to the end of the phrase. And also, I said they're great to buzz to, and that'll make the buzzing even easier. I think that pretty much wraps up this lesson. I hope you guys took note of that natural in bar 6. There's a little note written down at the bottom of the page for that natural sign. I won't dive into that on this lesson. Maybe we'll have another lesson in the future about accidentals and everything. But for now, read that. Make sure you understand when that pops up what you need to do. I hope you guys are beginning to get the feel of what a 3/4 feels like as opposed to a 4/4. Emphasis on the 1 is extremely helpful. It will help your band. Your band directors will appreciate the fact that you clearly have a feel of what a 3/4 feels like. That's part of the whole music journey, is getting a feel for certain things. It might feel a little bit awkward right now, but the more experience you have playing in 3/4 time, the better it becomes. And then you'll be introduced into a new time signature, and that one will feel weird, but you'll be a pro at 3/4. And that's just the journey that we go on. We're always trying to introduce new things and grow, and I'm still doing that after years and years of playing. These video lessons are great, but they don't replace one-on-one private lessons. Check the description down below for private lessons with me. If you're not in my area, online lessons are completely doable, especially at this level. We can meet online, you can play some things for me, I can give some feedback, and you can make a lot of progress with an online lesson. So keep that in mind. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go make life musical, and I'll see you next week.